There we go, and now we can welcome you all again to race number 6 of 29 in the 1989 throwbacks. 5 races, 5 different winners. So that's obviously interesting. Hendrick Motorsports accounts for 2 of those 5 different winners. And since we're going to Bristol this time around, it makes you wonder, when is Hendrick going to get a third winner in there? So Schrader, Waltrip, we're looking at you. Something I like to do here is take a look and see what are the best, worst drivers, per se. So occasionally we take a look and see who's the best driver without a win, who's the best driver without a top 5, who's the best driver without a top 10, who's the best driver without a lead lap, and you can kind of see me highlighting it. Those answers are Schrader, Gant, Neil Bonnet, and Mark Martin, respectively. Something I did see though. Ben Hess has 2 laps led. How about that? 29th in points. Go Ben. Anyways, let's get to the Valleydale Meets 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. Oh boy. Will the Hendrick domination continue? That's the big question. Well, see, everything's going on here. And Ricky Rudd is on the pole. There you go. Hey, yeah, that works. Wow. 3 different manufacturers inside the top 3. 4 different manufacturers inside the top 5. How about that? The first Pontiac is Morgan Shepherd, and wow. Okay, I'll take you through the top 10 in the lineup, as we always do, as that is a very interesting starting order here. As we've got Ricky Rudd, he's on pole. Then we've got Tim Richmond in second, and then we've got Bill Elliott third. How about Mark Martin in fourth? Phil Parsons fifth, Jeff Bodine sixth, Dale Earnhardt seventh, Brett Bodine eighth. That's an impressive run for him. Bobby Hillin Jr. ninth, and Morgan Shepherd is going to round out the top 10 starting order in 11th. 10th. What? 11th is Kyle Petty. Whoops. As I just talked over the command again. Yeah. Anyways, drivers are gonna get off going here. And the green flag is going to be out here from Bristol, or not. We're going to have to retry that. Here, we'll see here if everybody gets off and going. Everyone gets off and going. Okay, good. I hate when that happens. Thus, that's one of the drawbacks of going live, but that's how we do it here at the Throwbacks. The green flag is out and we are underway at Bristol. Actually underway. And let's see here. Yellow flag lap 1. We'll see. See Ricky Rudd here coming up off of turn 4. He will lead lap number 1. You can see the field flying by. And yeah, well, there you go. You pretty much called it on that one. Lap number 1's going to bring out the yellow. And now it's time to see who's involved. And it looks like it's going to be rookie Hutch Strickland. Well, Hutch didn't exactly get a good start. You can see Mickey Gibbs going down here. Jimmy Spencer down low. Yep, Miggs. Yeah. Mickey Gibbs gets into him, and then Ben Hess and all of them are going to get involved up here. The entire front end being taken off the 40 car. So, 29th in points for Ben Hess. Well, that's probably going to decrease. After that bad luck, lap 1, he's going to have to exit. So much for having a good day. How about some lap 1 pit stops? Why not? So we'll see how this ends up working out for us. See the 26 pulling into his stall. He's going to come right out. And it's going to go 9:55, 3, 8. So Hillen is going to come out into the 5th positions. We scroll to live. Not everybody pit on the lap 1 caution, as you would expect. A couple of people opted to stay out. Terry Labonte, Davey Allison, Darrell Waltrip, and Harry Gant. Not Harry Gant, rather, Phil, I'm reading this. Larry Pearson in the 4 car. Oh man, I need to stop reading the ticker directly. So it's going to go Terry Labonte, Davey Allison, Darrell Waltrip, and Larry Pearson. And then you're going to have Ricky Rudd. He'll be in the 26th. That'll be 5th. Bill Elliott 6th. Phil Parsons 7th. Dale Earnhardt 8th. Bobby Hillen 9th. And Tim Richmond 10th. So Bobby Hillen Jr., not exactly the most prolific racer in the world. His best career finish is 2nd place, and that happened in the, which one was that? I think it was the it was either the 1985 or the 1986 Coca-Cola 600. Can't remember which one it was. Well, it was one of those 2 races. Anyways, the lights are out on the pace car. I don't think we have anybody that's going to line up a lap down. As you can, we've got the 90s, so that would be Chad Little. But Jimmy Spencer, Ben Hess, and Hutch Strickland are all going to be registered as out. So you can see here, Chad Little's going to come up, line up on the inside as they come to the green flag. And Terry Labonte's going to lead them down into turn number 1. They all stack up single file around it. And we've got problems here with Rodney Coombs in the 89. Boy, I'm butchering all sorts of names. Rodney Coombs is in the 89. There you go. You can see a bump and run there. Chad Little's going to get out of Larry Pearson's way. And more problems with the 89 car. No caution. And I'm honestly surprised by that. But right now, Terry Labonte, he's doing a good job. He's leading this race. Larry Pearson being in 2nd place. But here comes Bill Elliott. He's going to challenge for his position soon enough. Here at this .533 mile oval. Elliott goes down to the inside. There he goes. He's going to go right around Larry Pearson. And Elliott is going to move into the 2nd position, but now he needs to chase down the 11 car. You can see right now Terry Labonte's doing really smooth here at the front of the pack. Everything's great right now for that 11 car. Terry Labonte just trying to play it smooth up here up front. We'll see how long he leads and see if Elliott can start to run him down. Pole sitter Ricky Rudd moves into 3rd, and Phil Parsons is going to move into 4th. And meanwhile, here comes Tim Richmond. He's going to battle Pearson for 5th. See if he can get there. See Waltrip going around Allison there, and there goes the 25 of Richmond. He's going to go right around the 4 car. And that'll bring him in. And here you can see the 6 car of Mark Martin, as we said, has not led a lap to this point. He might be able to get one lap led today, as we can see Derek Cope going down the pit road. Meanwhile, Larry Pearson continues to lose spots, I would say concerningly quick, as he is really falling through this field. He's under attack from Mark Martin. There goes Martin around. Davey Allison's going to go around him. Kyle Petty's going to be able to get around him. Brett Bodine might be able to get around him next. And boy, he is right now riding what we like to call the wayback train. Alan Kowicki's going to get underneath him. Here comes Rusty Wallace. Wallace is going to get a good run underneath him, likely. There goes Wallace around the 4-car. And there goes Wallace around the 7-car of Alan Kowicki. So that was an interesting exchange, as now Kyle Petty's going to start losing a bunch of positions. He's hung out there on the outside lane. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to the front here, where they are catching lap traffic. Terry Labonte continues to lead here on lap 21 as they cross the line. 125 lap race here at Bristol, and that it seems like a lot, but it's really not when these cars are churning out 16, 17-second laps at this track. It is just really a fast race. And now this is going to be problems. Richard Petty and AJ Foyt right in front of the 11 car. Petty seemed to get out of the way quickly. But, no, or not. Petty's going to try to keep that 11 car behind him, and thus here comes Bill Elliott. So once again, Ford has had a really strong showing here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, just like they had at Darlington last week. These two guys, Terry Labonte and Bill Elliott, they did really well at Darlington, and now here they are at Bristol, and they're also doing really well. Sometimes that's all you need. And now heavy lap traffic is going to start to be caught here, as we are 1/5 of the way through this race. 25 laps in the books. Terry Labonte is your leader. In second place is that 9 car of Bill Elliott. They're both red and white Fords, so yeah. You know, it's really hard to tell you, oh, just look for the red and white Ford. You know, they're both red and white. Labonte now getting around Butch Miller along with Bill Elliott, and now they're coming up on JD McDuffie here. And here comes Elliott down to the bottom. He's going to get around Terry Labonte. Coming back to the line. Elliott was able to pick up 5 bonus points for leading that lap. And he is going to take the lead entirely here on lap 29. So Bill Elliott is your new leader here at Bristol. And meanwhile, we've got more people coming, as here comes Ricky Rudd and the 25 of Tim Richmond. Rudd is keeping Richmond behind him for now. Oh, look at this. Oh, McDuffie gave Rudd the squeeze there. And you can see a couple of owner drivers there with Jimmy Means and JD McDuffie, as McDuffie got into the wall. Everything seems to be okay there, though. It's a very tightly packed raceway. And meanwhile, we're going back to see, well, we've got a big battle for position here. I believe this is all for 7th. As we can see, Brett Bodine having an excellent run here at Bristol. And Darrell Waltrip trying to find his way around Brett Bodine right now. So Bodine up in the top 10. Oh, look at this! And another very hard hit of a wall by Rusty Wallace. Remember at Rockingham he had that crazy crash. Wow. He drove it to pit road, though, so it looks like he's going to be okay, but... And now we've got more problems as Lake Speed blows up. Look out. So Lake Speed's going to blow up here, and the 27 is going to go out of the race. And you gotta wonder if any of Wallace's injuries are going to be aggravated because of that incident. That was another very vicious wreck that the 27's been a part of, and it's just not been a good year for Rusty Wallace in general. Well, we'll let you know if we'll just let you know if there's any updates. Well, like you said, he was able to drive it on home, so we should be okay. And we've got another engine expiring here in the form of Derek Cope in the 10. So we've had our fair share of mechanical problems here early on in this race. We'll see if they continue to happen. Meanwhile, the battle for second. Tim Richmond is in the 25, Terry Labonte in the 11. Richmond, your 1987 Winston Cup Throwbacks champion. You can see him going in the second. Meanwhile, another Throwbacks champion, Bill Elliott, the 1984 champion. He will continue to lead here. And you can see Bobby Hillen, who was running very, very well early on, has just fallen a lap down, qualified inside the top 10. Just hasn't been able to back it up today, unfortunately. So right now he's currently in 24th, and Irvin is around, and he takes a hard hit off the wall. Don't come back on the track. Is that going to be a yellow flag? No, sir. So that means he was able to get back going. And the caution flag has still yet to fly here at Bristol, despite our fair share of incidents. This is always a track where you're going to have your accidents, no doubt about it, but man, that was just another hard hit there. And we'll see how things continue to work out here. Meanwhile, the gap for the lead is coming down. Tim Richmond is running down the 9 car of Bill Elliott. So Richmond is definitely coming. You can see Elliott trying to maneuver around lap traffic. You've got the number 90 of Chad Little. You got to get around him. You've got the 29 of Jarrett. You got to get around him as well. And you can see that's going to happen. And there's Jerry's going to slide up. And now here comes Richmond. He's going to try to get around him and get shut down. And Eddie Bierschwale, he's going to go around. He got turned by the 9 of Elliott. Looks like he's going to try to continue racing, though. Still no caution. NASCAR has been very unwilling to throw the yellow flag, but because of that incident, your new leader is the 25, Tim Richmond. So Tim Richmond is able to get himself 5 bonus points for leading a lap. So he's going to go up front. You can see Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd there, nose to tail. That's for the 3rd position. Boy, cars are really getting spread around this track quickly. 21 cars are currently on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap right now is 21st, Harry Ganton, the 33. And the next one will be the 66 of Rick Mast. So watch out there. Oh, is that someone falling through the field? There's something, I don't know what happened there. Alan Kulwicki's made his way up into the 8th position today. We can scroll back to him. And there he is, number 7. And Brett Bodine is also having a very strong run. He's up into the 7th position. But that might be challenged soon here by Alan. You can see him, he's looking, trying to find any way around that 15 car he can. This is the battle for the 7th position. There's a couple of Fords here battling for, that would be 4 points between those 2 positions there. And you have to get up into 6th in order to get into the 5-point threshold. Anything above 6th, and that's when positions are going to start being worth 5 points instead of 4. And there goes Kulwicki around. Now Eddie Bierschwell, he's probably going to be very, very mindful about the cars on the track. And we've got another breakdown here, and that's going to be the 70 of McDuffie, and he's going to have to retire. So another breakdown there. Meanwhile, it looks like Bobby Hillin Jr. is giving these guys a rough time here, Kulwicki and Bodine, and that's going to allow Waltrip to start to come into the scheme now. And now here comes Bodine. He's going to go down to the bottom of Kulwicki, and he should be able to take the 7th position back, and he indeed will. So Brett Bodine's going to move back into 7th. But here comes Kulwicki. He's going to try to pull a crossover. Not quite going to get there. Going back up towards the front, we can see Phil Parsons passing Terry Labonte up there. That is for the 4th position. And Earnhardt's going to get around Labonte for 5th here. Labonte isn't careful. It looks like that's exactly what's going to happen here. So Parsons is able to maneuver around for 4th. And Dale Earnhardt's going to go up to 5th. And here we see a battle for 2nd place as Ricky Rudd is right on the back of Bill Elliott. Meanwhile, our leader, Tim Richmond, 60 laps to go in this race. Our leader, Tim Richmond, he's way up there. 1.5 seconds ahead. He's trying to become the first repeat winner of this season. Everyone in the top 3 have all gotten 1 win this year. We've got, yeah, everyone in the top 3 have gotten a win this year. Richmond is now catching up to the 43 car of Richard Petty. And there he will be able to not quite clear him. Here, Bristol is still a really tough track to pass, even if it's lap traffic. And meanwhile, we've got the 44 car coming down pit road. We'll see once we start seeing scheduled pit stops. Wonder once they will start. Right now we get to pretty much see who's going a lap down. The next one, Larry Pearson. We had the lap 1 caution, and we've been caution free ever since, but that doesn't mean we haven't had incidents. And we've got another car smoking on pit road, and that's going to be the 90 of Chad Little. He's done. And the 30 is going to come down pit road as well. And now here comes the leaders. The 25, the 9, the 3, they're all going to come down pit road. Here we go. Now we'll follow Ricky Rudd around this track. We'll see where Rudd's going to come back on. Out in front of Earnhardt. Out in front of... No, not out in front of Kowicki. Wow, Kowicki must have had a really good pit stop. Wow, that was A++ pitting there by Alan Kowicki's crew. Either that or he's a lap down. I'm not sure which one is which. No, it looks like Kowicki's actually a lap down. So, actually, that was A, more like F pitting. So, after pit stops, the entire complexity of this race has changed. And now, all of a sudden, your leader is the 26 of Ricky Rudd. That's who NASCAR is scoring as the leader. Ricky Rudd is in first. We have Phil Parsons in second place. Dale Earnhardt's made his way up to third. Tim Richmond falls all the way back to fourth, and Elliott back to fifth. Meanwhile, we have to go back a little bit to find Waltrip in sixth, Jeff Bodine in seventh. All of a sudden, Mark Martin, Brett Bodine, Dick Trickle, they're all off the lead lap. Sterling Marlin comes out in eighth. Kyle Petty in ninth. And if I'm led to believe, yeah, there's Larry Pearson in 10th, and then we're going to have Terry Labonte and Alan Kowicki in 11th and 12th, and that's all that's on the lead lap. Meanwhile, we can see that there has been a plethora of retirements today, no doubt about that. Most of it due to mechanical failures, but 10 drivers have dropped out of this race. Some of it due to crashes, some of it due to mechanical failures. And meanwhile, we're talking here, and we just completely missed that Phil Parsons has just taken the lead away from Ricky Rudd. So Phil Parsons is looking for career win number 2 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Oh, right now, Phil Parsons... Well, we'll see if Parsons can maintain his hold on the lead. Of course, his first win came at Riverside, and that was just a huge win for that team. 1987, the same day. And we've got a caution. Caution flag is out, and we will investigate the cause real quick. Caution is out, and it looks like AJ Foyt is around on the back straightaway. He's just going to pop the wall. He hits Davey Allison, and that's it. So they finally decide to bring out the yellow flag, and now race strategy gets interesting. Well, no one needs to pit, but if anything, this is going to jumble the field all the way back up, and that's going to put a lot of good drivers back into contention potentially. But there's really no slow lap down line. Right now, the big thing is Phil Parsons is your leader. You've got Ricky Rudd in second, Dale Earnhardt third, Tim Richmond fourth, Bill Elliott 5th, Darrell Waltrip 6th, Jeff Bodine sitting comfortably in 7th, Sterling Marlin in 8th, surprisingly. He usually doesn't have too much luck on these short tracks. Kyle Petty up into 9th, someone who does do well in the short tracks. And 10th, you've got Terry Labonte. And that's all that's on the lead lap. Everyone else is a lap down, as you would expect on a short track like this. You usually have single digits finishing on the lead lap at these races. And that's just difficult. As you said, single digits finishing on the lead lap. Here's what usually happens. You can see the lights on the pace car are going to go off. The lap cars are going to be able to go down to the inside line. We're going to restart with 39 laps to go here from Bristol. In what I am almost certain is in what I believe is going to be a very interesting conclusion to this little over 250-mile event. Well, it would be if it was 500 laps. Anyways, the green flag is back out. Phil Parsons gets a huge jump on Larry Pearson, and now things are going to get interesting. The race might not even be for the lead anymore because Phil Parsons got such a good jump there. Unless another caution comes out, it's going to be very unlikely to see another lead change in this race. It's all about who can get to the bottom. Who can get to the bottom? Who's going to be the first guy to get to the bottom? And it might be Ricky Rudd here. Maybe not. And I think it's going to be Rudd here. He's going to be the first leader that's going to be able to get to the bottom here. And there he goes. And boy, all the leaders are really having a tough time getting to the bottom of this track. I think Kyle Petty has found the bottom, though, and he indeed has. Kyle Petty and Terry Labonte have both found the bottom of this track, and it might be a huge dividend to do that. Look at this. Wow, there's some tough love right there. Wow, that was interesting. Richard Petty gave Kyle Petty a huge run off of turn 4 there. Made it 3 wide going into 1. That must have given his son a heart attack. But yeah, now you can see both the 11 and the 42 are on the high lane. The 25's now down on the bottom along with the 3. Oh, the 3's not down on the bottom yet because of an extremely aggressive move by Mark Martin. 3 wide into 1. Look out! Oh boy, hang on there, Helen. Elliott's on the bottom though, so he's moving along. And that's what these restarts are all about. It's all about getting to the bottom here. And it doesn't look like any other driver is going to be able to reclaim their lead lap. Nope. So right now, we're going to fast forward to your leader here. He is gone. Your leader is Phil Parsons here in the 55. He has done a fantastic job. His pit crew did a fantastic job as we get a flyby here. There's second place. You can just get an idea for just how large 2 seconds is at this track. I don't think a lot of people realize that 2 seconds can basically mean a half a straightaway, maybe even the whole straightaway behind. It is just such a large amount to make up here at Bristol. It's a tough track, but hey, that's why we come here, and that's why these guys are the best in the business. They are absolutely the best drivers that we can offer. There's a little smoke there. Maybe another mechanical failure. I don't know. Dave Marcus is on pit road. Phil Parsons continuing to just chug away laps right now. And that's all he needs to do. Ricky Rudd, he's pretty much got second secured down. Tim Richmond, he's got third secured down. And, well, here's fourth, Bill Elliott. And you can see fifth in Darrell Waltrip right behind him. And then we've got sixth here in the form of Dale Earnhardt. Seventh, Terry Labonte. Eighth, Sterling Marlin. I guarantee you he's just crossing his fingers and hoping to hang on for a top 10. Same thing with Kyle Petty in 9th. And there's 10th, Jeff Bodine, and that's it. And, whoa, Richard Petty got a good piece of the wall there. Now you can see Phil Parsons, he is catching lap traffic. Now the interesting thing here is that Ricky Rudd is closing in on Phil Parsons. But the thing is that there's just not a lot of racing left. He's got to make up 2 seconds of ground on Phil Parsons, and I just don't think that's going to happen. I think this is actually going to be a good time to take a look at the fastest laps on the board. And the fastest lap is turned by Dale Earnhardt, 119.055 miles per hour. Definitely a fast lap here at Bristol. Anyways, going back, and it looks like Parsons and Rudd are turning pretty much identical lap times. That one Rudd made up a decent amount of ground on. And he's technically still ahead of that 1/10 of a second a lap barrier, but I wouldn't count on that rule of thumb here because the track is so short. It's hard to make up a 1/10 of a second a lap here. And if it was Pocono or Michigan or Charlotte or Atlanta even, 1/10 of a second a lap, there's 15, 20 laps to go. You say, yeah, there's plenty of racing left. Ricky Rudd will be able to get this thing done. But this is Bristol. It's a half mile, a little bit more than a half mile, 0.533 miles. And it's just so hard to run someone down. And then once you run them down, can you pass them? That's another challenge in its own right here. And no gain made there on that lap. So the gap is about 1.5 seconds back to Ricky Rudd. And the gap is dwindling oh so slightly. 14.5 laps to go, and there's 16/10 to make up. And that might be the nail in the coffin unless there's another caution here. It does not look like that Ricky Rudd's going to be able to make up all of this time on Phil Parsons, and Parsons might be walking away with his second career win here. Just an excellent pit stop by the Parsons crew, and that's what really set him up to win this race. Will be his second win of his career. Hasn't won since 1987 rather. 1987. The second to last NASCAR race at Riverside. The same race that Richmond ended up clinching his first Throwbacks championship. Yeah. As she said, Rudd seems to be coming, but I don't think he's coming fast enough. There's going to be more lap traffic to run interference, though, by the time We get down here, so can Rudd make up the gap with lap traffic maybe? You could see him starting to come into the top of the frame, coming in off of turns 3 and 4. How much are people like AJ Foyt going to slow down the 55? And is it going to slow him down much compared to what Rudd is running? It doesn't look it, man. I'm just saying right now, it looks like Parsons is going to just walk away with this win. A little bit less than 1.5 seconds remains to be the gap. You can see Mickey Gibbs's beat up race car. '55 is just running ice cold and smooth through this lap traffic. Not having any problems. He's just doing it right. Eddie Bierschwell's engine is going to expire here late in the going. And that really sucks. That's going to put him in 32nd. Oh boy. That really sucks for him. He was running really well. He was in the mid-20s, and now he's going to get himself a DNF. Anyways, Phil Parsons. All he needs to do is hang on. He certainly wasn't the fastest car today, 7th fastest. But that's still top 10 speed, and that sometimes is all you need. He didn't necessarily get this win on a pit strategy per se, but just a very quick pit stop by his crew. And it looks like we are going to have 6 winners and 6 attempts here at Bristol. Yep, this year so far, 6 winners, 6 attempts. The white flag is out for Phil Parsons. Can he hold on? He rolls through 1 and 2 perfectly fine. No reason to wreck the car. No reason to push around lap traffic. He'll get his way around turns 3 and 4. And here he comes down to the checkered flag. Phil Parsons is going to win here at Bristol. And that'll be a win for Oldsmobile as well. Wow, that's impressive. Darrell Waltrip finishing up into 4th. Kyle Petty, Sterling Marlin finishing with top 10s. And that was just a great run by Phil Parsons, picking up career win number 2 here at Bristol. So how about that? 6 races and 6 winners. But now the big thing here is that 21 points now separates Dale Earnhardt from Bill Elliott. So we've got we still actually got a very close race here at the top of the boards. 6 drivers still remain mathematically eligible to become the points leader at the end of the next race. And let's just say that, yeah, that's entirely possible because the next race happens to be North Wilkesboro. And that is just such a wild card race. It's such a difficult race. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, we'll just see it for the next race at North Wilkesboro. Hold on, before we go, let's take a look and see how the Rookie of the Year standings are lining up. And right now, Dick Trickle is now leading it ahead of favorite Hutch Strickland. Another person you want to see is Davey Allison. He's starting to move up into the top 25. That's someone you would expect to see in the top 25. But he's just had such a slow start to the season. It's just not been his year. Anyways, now we'll see you next time for North Wilkesboro.